backstage here at Ballpark Brawl 5. I am with the Sandman, who is going to be taking on Sabu here tonight. Sandman, thanks for joining us here. Talk a little bit about what it's like to be back in Buffalo. You were here when you toured with ECW.
Well, the first thing I thought was, I can't even remember the last time that I was here. It must have been like maybe 8 years ago or something like that, that they're still doing the same construction that they were doing the last time I was here. I don't know if you guys are from Buffalo or not, but would you guys please get this construction out of the way finally? Yeah, come on, you guys can walk through. We're just doing a little interview here, so no problem. Buffalo is always a great town. I loved working in front of these fans here. I forget what the building that we used to work at was. But,
Bert Flickinger.
The what?
The Bert Flickinger.
The Bert Flickinger. Well, Bert, you had a great building, and the people were the best part about it. Crowd was always great.
I see you got your One Night Stand T-shirt on. Talk about how that experience was.
Oh, is that what I'm wearing? I didn't even know it was a One Night Stand T-shirt. One Night Stand. You know, it was great like reunion kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's hard to put it into words. Like a lot of those guys I was on the road with for years. You know what I mean? And you become like a family. And I didn't realize how much I actually missed being around a lot of those guys because I pretty much been out of the business for the past couple years. I'd been on the road for like 13 years, and I needed a break. And it was just nice being back with all the boys again.
What was one of your most fondest memories with ECW?
Oh, there's tons of them. The best, not even so much being in the ring. It was like hanging out with Todd Gordon, hanging out with Too Cold Scorpio, hanging out with just all the boys there. You know what I mean? Just being a family. You know, that was just the best part about it all. Everybody was worried about the product as a whole, not so much about. I mean, obviously you care about your own personal stuff and your own character and how you're going to get your character over, but more it was the family atmosphere, and everybody cared about everybody else. You didn't have to worry about turning your back and somebody stabbing you in the back like it is in a lot of other organizations.
Speaking of Todd Gordon, he's going to be in your corner tonight as you take on Sabu, and Sabu's going to have Bill Alfonso.
Oh yeah, that's going to be fun. We're going to give Fonzie the Malachi Crunch. I don't know if you guys know anything about the old Happy Days things, but you know, I'm 42 years old, so I grew up watching Happy Days on Tuesday nights at like 8 o'clock. Used to make sure I was home from the ball field then to watch that. So we're gonna give Fonzie the Malachi Crunch, and Sabu. It's just, you know, it's not a wrestling match with Sabu. It's ladders, tables, chairs, and like I like to say, lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! I actually like wrestling Sabu because he brings the best out of me.
How was your run in NWA TNA?
I don't know if you would call it a run there or not, but yeah, I liked working there. You know what I mean? Because I was there with Raven. You know what I mean? And a couple of Dusty was is great to work with. You know what I mean? And there was a couple. It's been so long. God, it's probably been a year and a half since I worked for him. You know what I mean? But I met like Tracy. I don't know what she was, one of Dusty's girls, Tracy. And when was the last time you seen TNA? Dusty.
A few weeks ago.
The two girls. Remember Tracy and Trinity? Tracy and Trinity, meeting good people like that. Kid Cash, Helix, Conan. You know what I mean? It's great being around good people that you can talk more about than just wrestling to. You know what I mean? The people that I would consider my friends that I would hang out with outside of the business. Well, and the wrestling's always just the wrestling. And the owner, Dixie Carter, great lady, absolutely great lady. So it was fun to work for her.
How's it to see some of the ECW alumni being signed these days with the resurgence of ECW since the pay-per-views?
Who have they signed? My day consists of I get up in the morning when my girl comes home from college. We have sex. We go to the gym. We go to the tanning booth. I pick my son up from school. I play with my son until about 8 or 9 o'clock at night, whenever he decides to go to bed. Have some more sex with my girl, and pretty much I don't know really anything that's going on in this business. And a lot of guys, like, I used to live, eat, and breathe this business, but now I pretty much, like I said, I've been on the sidelines for the past couple years. I broke 22 bones from like 95 to the closing of ECW. So my body needed a little break, and right now I'm pretty ignorant to actually what's going on in the business. You know what I mean?
It just I was referring to. It just seems like with the pay-per-views, it seems like ECW's on fire. A lot of the alumni getting booked around, and you're here today along with Sabu, and I'm sure a lot of the fans here in attendance are coming to see that match.
Yeah, I don't know. Was there a question in that, or was that more?
No, not really. Just a statement.
It's like a statement.
It's more of a statement.
Who's been signed? Has WWE signed like anybody, like who have they signed with? Oh, wait a minute. Somebody told me Kid Cash signed with them.
Like Kid Cash, but you saw like the Blue World Order was just on a recent pay-per-view. There's a lot of guys getting dark matches. A lot of guys they're talking to, contract negotiations. Guys
getting dark matches are because of Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer is such a great guy, and he'll help out anybody that he can. And he's a real straight shooter too. You know what I mean? So if Tommy liked you and you were cool, then yeah, you're gonna get a dark match. And I don't know how much he has to do with actually people getting signed, but Tommy will do anything he can. Absolutely anything in the world he can to help you, and Vince signs people for a reason, to make money. So anybody that he signs from ECW would deserve to be there.
When you first came to ECW, did you think it was going to be as popular as it was?
First came to ECW, you got to remember something. I started ECW. I was in that company in 1989 in June when it was Tri-State Wrestling Alliance. When it was all said and done, because it was a Tri-State Wrestling Alliance in '89. Todd Gordon took over, maybe like 92-ish. He was one of the money guys when it was Tri-State Wrestling Alliance, and then when that guy went under, Todd Gordon took over, and then Paul Heyman took over. Todd made it Eastern Championship Wrestling, and then it became Extreme Championship Wrestling. But I was there from the beginning. I'm pretty sure I had twice as much time in that company as anybody else. So it wasn't like. So I saw it all as it was happening. It wasn't like I just came into the locker room and saw how it was. What I liked about it was when guys would come in, like when Stone Cold came in, or guys that were leaving WCW or WWE, they would come into our locker room, and like one of the first things that they would remark about was how much of like a family atmosphere it is, and that they've never seen a locker room like that because we were so tight.
Talk about the family atmosphere. Did you find that at the reunion shows that it still was there around that family atmosphere?
Well, yeah, but you gotta understand something. A lot of guys, it's like when ECW did their first pay-per-view. A lot of guys were like real nervous because you gotta understand a lot of guys hadn't done like live TV up at that point. You know what I mean? And it's not like, all right, cut, let's do another take. You can't. You can't cover it up in editing later and stuff like that. So a lot of guys were nervous, and then when you're going up there, you're working for Vince. A lot of the guys that weren't signed for them, and even the guys that were already signed for them, it's like everybody's walking on eggshells like everywhere around up there in that company, which is something that I didn't like about it. But it'll never be the same that it was when all of us were working for Todd Gordon or Paul Heyman. You got to understand, you're working for Vince McMahon, probably the smartest guy ever in his business, and he's proven it year in and year out. But it definitely wasn't that family atmosphere. But everybody knew it was something special, and we'll all look at it in retrospect years later of how special it was. But it was a lot more tense for that pay-per-view than it was for like a normal ECW show.
Sandman, thank you very much. I appreciate you joining us here for Ballpark Brawl 5, and look forward to your match with Sabu later tonight.
Hey, peace. I just want to say one thing for all you fans that are going to watch this. Remember, I'm having just as much, if not more fun than you are when you're at the show. Peace.